got James's gab off. It's working. We got a bunch of stuff going with that. Mark and Deborah's are here too. They're coming up, but right now we are getting ready for Mike's engine block. Been tightening up the third bay, getting it clean. There's just, we got to clean the honer. We've got his pistons here. Let's look at the pistons. He's got them all covered up. Mm, 4.7, 5.1, 4.9. Still close, 4.9, real close, 4.3, little low, but still well within, 4.8, 4.2, a little low, but they are ceramic coated. There you go, inside the bowl, and we did not clean it all the way, right, but I think it's 15 thousandths, so we've got another 5 thousandths to cut out. So we gambled that that will cut out in 5 thousandths. See the rust spots? See that's, I don't care about the rust spots. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Well, this side actually looks good. Not really. Some of that up there, and then you can see where it didn't clean up there. So we cut it. We went through the whole process to cut it just to make sure that 20 over pistons are going to work. But today Tanner's cleaning out the honer, and we're actually going to spend a little time back here and get Mike's in one piece, or as pretty close, as close to one piece. We're going to get it on the stand once we get it cleaned, surfaced, board. So we'll go and put new paper in. It's nice to get it dry. It's not all wet and nasty. Generally, we do it about every engine. Every engine we clean it out. This is only one bore, right?
Yeah, this isn't even a full one. This was only going.
This was that. This was Mike's.
Yeah.
This was cutting 15 thousandths out. So this was 15 thousandths. I didn't want to turn the honer back on with it nasty like that. It's that's what 15 thousandths out of a 6.4 looks like, guys, right there. Here's what we removed. I mean, there's quite a bit there. Looks like a lot more than, it fluffed it up like snow, didn't it? Oh man, we gotta clean that up too. We won't even show them that because that's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? This ultrasonic's completely jam-packed full of James's parts. And I kept the red on the battery cables up out because it'll turn them all pink and funky. He did get a new degas bottle, so we don't really have to worry about that. I'm bouncing around between all three of the jobs. Mark and Deborah, as soon as this engine is in one piece, Mark and Deborah is going to be, we're going to be front and center on them. We had an issue over the weekend, and look at this. That's on a truck that we took, I guess. Well, we don't need, the bus is rolling, no matter who's underneath it.
Yeah. And the bus is back rolling.
Yeah, the bus is rolling again. So by that I mean Russ the bus. But actually, I was talking about throwing someone under the bus, but we won't do that. So we had to take our truck apart. Take a look at this. Drew took care of it. Remember that customer supplied labor? Drew took care of it. He came through. We was out of town, and he came here and took the hub off of our dually. I told him just leave the jack there. I said, I don't even care. Just leave the jack on it and grab the hub, and then he drove 100 and some odd miles away and put it on a truck for us. That was awesome, because I was about 400 miles away on my way back, but he did it, picked it up. Now we just got a truck sitting out here on one wheel. I got to put some studs on it, which it ain't really in my way right now, so I'm just going to let it sit there. That jack can sit outside. I don't need a jack, not today. If we was to buy a new set of rods, they would be about 1,000ths out of round. I get it, doesn't make any sense, I know, but they are. Within half a thousandth, almost every single one of them. I mean, even if you buy new ones. Crankshaft got balanced. That's a whole other story in itself. Or not balanced, it got polished, right? We take this thing up and fold it as we do it. Sometimes we can keep it from falling inside. If we change this and just sacrifice the paper for every engine, or maybe not everyone, but pretty much everyone. Where's the paper? Do we have some? Oh, we got some, a little bit. Ooh. It'll make that last so much longer. I like to go ahead and do the fan too. Paint that, it's dry now. Paint the outside of the fan, we'll put it up top. we might think about replacing this, James. This is James's. I know I got 364s going right now. That's 3.884. Can you zoom in? Oh, you can. Look at that. That's 3.884. All right, let's check another one real quick. I don't know how you say the name, Molly. I don't know, but 3.884. It's pretty freaking secure right there. So, good deal. All right, now look over here. We're going 20 over. We'll always double check with the book. 3.884. Oh, that's 884. 884. Quick one, I've been switching them around too. Oh, you are recording? Yeah, see? I don't even see any that are 883. They're all 884. Yeah, same thing. Just want to make sure one of them is not haywire, which, so we got one of them in the middle. See that? It's in the middle of the, right, yeah, right where my finger was at. Okay, so we got half thousand on it, and that doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter, it'll be fine. See, that's the only one. Yeah, it's just a hair smaller. It's gonna be 886. 3.886 is the final bore hole. Bore diameter, whatever you want to freaking say. There's 884 right there. Add a couple to it. That's how I said it. It's hard to see, but 2000s piston cylinder. Okay, now 2000s is a bit tight. I really wouldn't mind adding a couple 10/1000s to it. Like, just, and this thing is not detailed enough to measure that, but just a fuzz over two. Just a fuzz. Not a quarter. Not a quarter of the way. And then my junk tools here. I got to use a screwdriver to tighten it because I don't really want it to move. All right, so right here when I'm setting this, I've added 2000s and we come right over to the bore gauge. And I'll push it down on the prop and then push it down, see how it moves? So I'll push that down and then put it on here, touch it to there, and then hold her finger here and try to keep it centered, right? And then I pick it up. See how I picked it up off the table? So now it is completely resting. We want it to completely rest the entire weight of the bore gauge on this bottom right here when you're checking it. But first we have to put it on the top to get it to spring under it, and then we can pick it up. It's kind of hard with your finger all taped up. And then I'll pick it up, and then watch, and then look at the end. See how I'm, over here, Julie. Over here, right here. See how I'm wiggling it around? Because it's supposed to mimic a diameter, so it will change. Now go look. I'm doing this. Now look at the gauge. Oh, see how it moved a lot? Watch. Here we go. Let's get back on there just like that. See that? You can mimic as if you're going around a circle and you just put it at the highest. All right, go ahead and zero it. Because this allows for cylinder clearance. The highest you can get it, the farthest to the right that needle goes is where I want zero at. We'll do that, lock it down, and get them all to read it. Gotta crush it up before I pick it up. At least it's dry. It's scrap. We're scrapping it. Oh, what was that? Right now, what are you doing? You're working on?
James's bolts.
James's bolts. You want to say hi?
Hi.
All right, bearing bore diameter is 9916, 9926. So thousandths play. 991 to 992. 6. Now the tools I use for most of this are by no means the best at all. So, but we use a standard, which is about that right there. So that line's just barely past the middle of there. 9916. 2.9916, that's what we're going for. We just bought these little cheap gauges here that, and we got lucky on this one. I put it in with no shims. See, to those that don't understand, you loosen this up and you can put shims back behind there. See these little shims right here? You can put shims back behind it. Now that kind of, the sun in one will actually allow you to adjust it right here, but this one does not. This one, and I got lucky at 2.99 on this one. It actually does pretty good. It's within the range. Now when you put that on there, it should tighten it up and be tight right here and check it just like we did on the pistons over on the other side. This is really hard with the one taped up, messed up finger. There you go. You know, as the piston is pushing it down to the lead, they could just 1/1000ths under. All right, 5 is the worst one, but I'm seeing every one of them are 1/1000th out right here. Every one of them. So it stretches it. You know, the rods are not strong enough to hold it. So, maybe, I don't know, who knows? But that's what it looks like. If you go to the other way, then they're all 1/2,000. See, this one is the worst one. Look, it almost zeroes out. It almost zeros. Okay, so now we look at this one. Look at this one at the same spot. Right here, it's gonna be 1/2,000ths, or almost. See how it goes past, almost a half. So they're 1/2,000ths out here. So they're almost every single one of them are 1/2,000ths out around. You look at these long enough and they'll start to look like you can see bends in them. But, so 1/2,000ths will be fine. I don't see any that are like ridiculously out. Very, very consistent with each other. Except this one. And by this one, I'm saying it's still 1/1000th out that way, but this way is a little bit closer to stock size. So this one did not conform, did not oblong as much as the rest of them. But they're still within. I mean, there's a 1/1000ths of play, and I set it to the lower side. So, I mean, one would, yeah. So just to run through it again, because it's easy to get confused. It's 9926. That's what I set it at. 9926. No. Right there, 9926. It's actually 2.6, but if you really want to be technical, so we go a little bit past it. 2.6. And then we'll check it again. I moved it. We have moved it, I think. Didn't we? No, we didn't. Okay, so it's 9926. So that one being 1/1000th out, we're just a fuzz off. We're a little bit of a piece of one off. Not much.
Not much.
So that 1/1000ths being out means that they're actually conformed. I mean, I've taken new ones out and they've been just like this, 1/2,000ths out. New rods from Ford, so, you know, we're not going to beat on it. We're going to get the torque out. We'll check the small end. Check the small end. That's a couple 10/1000ths over. Let's go to the other side. The top one was the most. This is about 5/10,000ths under. 5/10/1000ths under. Yeah, look at this. Yeah. Not bad. Let's go here. How's it going? Let's go this side. That's pretty good. Let's go this side. Hang on, let's move it up and down around the journal. One under. It's got 1/1000ths to play. Doesn't it? I think it does, doesn't it?
I think so.
Let's see what this one does. This one might be a little over 1/1000ths. So that might be just a hair outside of spec. Let's go over here. That's a hair over. Alright, well, we'll check it, get the strap off where we really want to check it. We're still have 1/1000ths over. One and a half. So we're 2/1000ths. I'm just feeling for stings now, seeing if there's anything. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and cut it because this block ain't trash. I'll run this block. Right? You know, I'll run it. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and cut it. And we can discuss because it needs to be cut anyways. We'll just have to babysit the journals if we want to do anything, which I don't think I would. I mean, it's 5, 10, 1,000ths out of spec, which is about that much, which is a mile. Well, actually, it's 5, 10, 1,000, so it's half a mile. So it's half a mile out of spec. On this one journal right here. At that point, but let's just double check and keep going around and see what it squeezes at all the way over here. That's 1,000ths over. 1,000ths over. Almost dead nuts there. Which, that's pretty good. Straight up and down right by the oil galley. It's pretty much dead nuts. Here, let's see. Let me get it under there. Oh, it got dropped under. You can't really count that. Thousands under. Boy, that's going to change things. The problem I have with line boring, or what they call line honing, and then going back to putting the same size in there, is, I mean, it's, let's see, it's already big. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to make it bigger. So when they say that they're going to line hone and do a line hone, it's going to open the clearances up. But there's 1,000ths over. I mean, so it's going to open it up. What I'm saying is unless we can get double-sized bearings, because this would count if the crank, right? If the crank needs cut too. That's 1.5, isn't it? So 1.5 thousandths. So 1.5 over. I've got this set to what? Let's double check again, because I want to know this freaking sucks. Let's see. So it's 3.8554 is what I set it at, about 3854. So at 3854, and we're 1.5 thousandths over. Right? Am I doing the math right? That means that we're at 1.5. We're 3 10 1,000ths out of spec on the high side, rather than 862. We're like 8, 1.5, 6.4. I mean, that's about 6.9. We're at about 3.869. So 6.2 is the top of the spec. 6.9. I don't know if I would, because the rest of them look good. I mean, if run a line bore in it, see how much bigger it makes it, and then we just take them all to the bigger size. Now we can discuss that. We'll figure it. We'll discuss that. Let's, we might just send this. Just go ahead and let this one go. The rods look good. One of them is a little shaky, but still, it'll be alright. Check the small ends. Once we check the small ends of the rods, we don't even need to check the cam journal, the cam tunnel. It'll be fine. They're never heavy. I mean, we'll check it, but I'm not going to video it. I'm just going to run we got a bore gauge over there. Just going to run it down and check it real quick. But the thing for the cam would be alignment. I'm much more worried about alignment than the actual size of it. We just never have cam bearing issues. Cam bearing, which is crazy because we have camshaft issues. So, so for, what is it, 4 10 1,000ths? Something like that. Do we want to change it and do other things for that 4 10 1,000ths? Let us know. Actually, I think I might. What time is it? 8 o'clock? Julie! Okay, right here. 849, 56, 54, 49, 49 to 58. See, the fourth journal is 849, and then 864. See, that one's pretty far out. That one's a couple thousandths out. That's this journal right here. And we can't just fix one. We'd have to do it all, and then, yeah, I mean, actually, I've never line bored one. I've never had one line bored. So take that for what it is. We haven't had many main bearing issues. We just haven't. I mean, I know you'll look online and people will do all kinds of machining to the crank and the mains. I mean, I've had cranks machined too. Being a couple thousandths out, I mean, the only thing why I'm running this through like this is he heard a high-pitched tapping noise, which by far wouldn't have anything to do with the main crankshaft journal. I wouldn't. I mean, I doubt. That would be a pretty deep thunk if that had a problem, if it was banging around in there. So we can decide that. Kind of a bummer, things aren't perfect, but we just got to deal with what we can. Right now we're going to go ahead and put it up in there and check. Go ahead and cut it. Let's cut it. We've already got it set up. We might as well cut it to accept a set of pistons, because you know that's what we're planning. Okay, so pin bore diameter is 517 to 577. Yeah, that's freaking nuts. 517 is what we'll go for. It will stay in there. And that is 517, and I already went through there and spun it, did it with both hands. We're going to run through and check all the small ends too. Just double check.